Hey, it's Dave from Bullpen Cycles. Those of you who subscribe to my channel probably remember this Honda. It was one of my earlier videos where we fixed this kickstart. That's a brand new kickstart shaft, fresh from, I guess, Indonesia. And of course, it didn't last long. It's broken. So I guess moral of the story is, if your reproduction part has an important function, try to find OEM. Now you can't get that from Honda. So what we had to do is we found a donor bike, and this is the piece that we need. So this video, unlike our other have fun videos, is going to be more like a how-to video. Alright, so I've been at this maybe 45 minutes is all. We'll give you a rundown of how to pull the motor out. It's pretty simple. You got to disconnect the chain, take the countershaft sprocket off, pull off the rotor cover, pull the rotor. That takes a special tool like this. Take the starter gear off, pull the head off. This cylinder is ready to come out. You don't have to take the carburetor off. You're gonna have to drain the tank. You have to pull the exhaust to pull the cylinder off. This one has a one-piece exhaust. It's ready to come out. Some of them have a two-piece exhaust. Then you can just take the header pipe out. You can take the foot pegs off now or after you get it apart. And then it's just this bolt and this bolt, and it drops out. Then we're going to pull the cylinder off, take the starter out, take the clutch cover off, split the cases, swap in a new kickstarter. Okay, you should probably drain the oil first before you take it out, because it's easier to do in the bike. Disconnect the ground strap, undo the brake spring. We're gonna slide, you gotta disconnect the starter motor. We're gonna pull these two bolts and set the motor down on a flat jack. You should really invest in a flat jack. Even for little motors, it makes everything a whole lot more easier. Now normally I'm leery of these, but I know this is the right tip for these screw heads, and I put them on so they're not crazy tight. But if it was a strange motor, I'd be putting them out by hand, because it's very easy to round out a Phillips head, and then you're screwed. Almost like that one, huh? I try to avoid sealant when I put my motors together, so it shouldn't be glued shut. It should pop right off. Yeah, it's got that special nut with a special lock washer. And that's it. This is just press fit in, just lays there. This is your camshaft. Got 2 cam follows in there, which are gonna fall out anyway. So if you can get them, you get them out. Probably easier with a magnet, but I'm not finding mine at the moment. And of course I dropped it in there. Well, that means it'll come out all easier. That's in a snap ring, so I can tilt it over. These are the same, intake and exhaust. You don't have to worry about mixing them up. Just have to make sure you get your dots lined up when you put it back together. Alright, what I do with my 10mm. Took it off when I took the tool. No, I didn't. So it's over there. So this pulls out. Sometimes you got to smack it on the other side. You know, yeah, you got to take the starter apart. Not apart, but off. So we will do that. Well, maybe you don't have to take that out. I don't, if those screws don't, no, I guess you don't have to, but I did. Case bolts are on the other side. Making a little bit of a mess. Washer for the kickstart spring. That's what you don't want, because you don't want to round them off. Alright, so all the screws are out now. They came out this side. And what I find the best way to do this is to flip it over and let that side stay together while we lift this side out. Pressing these back in. Sometimes you need heat. Oh, you know what? I'm going to take this gasket off. I try not to tear them just in case you can't find one. Heat this, it should lift off. I know people that actually put these on a stove and heat them up, but you don't need to. You don't need a whole lot of heat. Maybe some old English stuff, I don't know. But this was a part not long ago. key is. Try to get it off, keeping everything together. And it's not happening. This shaft is coming out. I don't want it to. Because I want everything to stay together. Otherwise, I gotta figure out the pieces of the puzzle. Which I might have to do now anyway, huh? That isn't gonna come out. I don't want that to come out. That's not what I wanted. Oh, it's almost out. Oh, there. Alright, so my gasket is toast, which is fine. I have another one. Yeah, this shaft is broke. It's munched. It just kind of fell apart. That's what I think happened. The pin broke for the retaining spring for the ratcheting mechanism, which allows the ratcheting mechanism to move off, which it did. The spring came out as the ratchet slipped, and that just, I think, caused everything to just kind of loosen up, and the ratchet was not engaging. We're gonna stick with the factory one. We still have the thrust washer. Yeah. Okay. So it will go in there like that. That'll go with our donor engine. And this is actually ready to put back together. Except I need the right gasket. Which I gotta show you something on that. Here is a non-factory gasket like we used the last time. There's no provision for the breather hole here. I since did find a factory gasket. Here is the correct factory gasket. Everything is the same except it doesn't have this hole, which you need for the breather. Otherwise the engine develops too much back pressure. So while you can get these cheap paper gaskets, you gotta punch a hole in the right place, or if you look at enough pictures, you can get the correct factory gasket. And there it is. Now I try to avoid sealant, so we should be able to snap this back together. After I remove the old gasket, duh. And it's still clean. That's it. Now we just put all the other stuff back together. We're all done. One thing left to do. Oh, by the way, I fixed that too. Sticky button, that's just dielectric grease. That's the answer. But the kicker, that's what we have actually working on. So let's check that. And we're good.